Hey guys, Sword here, and this is going to be a vlog with Minecraft Xbox 360. But first of all, I'm alone right now, but after this video, I'm inviting all my friends, and then we're going to get work. We're going to get some work done on the tunnel. So we are pretty much already halfway there. Is that well? I picked up some bones. I don't need those bones. It's just trash right now. We got so many bones. Alright, so here is one of the other 50 by 3 tunnels or 30 torch path. And it leads all the way down to the original skylight, so all the tunnels are going to be connected to each other. So we're working on the second 30 torch path, and as well as there's some slime everywhere. We see these so often, it's just nothing special anymore. We just go kill them, get the free experience, and move on from here. So let's get started. If you guys have any questions, concerns, topics, discussions, or ideas you want to share with me in the comment section below, or send me a message over at YouTube, you may do so. And if I do use your idea or use your topic or discussion, and as well as answer your question in a video, I'll credit you verbally within that video, and as well as that, I'll link your channel in the description of that video as giving thanks for helping me out with something to do or something to talk about for that day. I always mess that up. No matter how many times I try, I always mess that up. We got a lot of lava to deal with, and pretty much, it's just going to be a pain in the butt. Alright, so let's get started. Honestly, last night I wanted to talk about this, but I didn't have much time, so I just delayed it till today. But this happened 2 nights ago as of today. And I'm gonna honestly say that this was the scariest night of my life working at the fast food restaurant, and possibly the scariest night out of the whole entire deal, because I honestly feared for my life and my co-workers' life when this happened. It doesn't seem much, but you just never know until it actually happens. And this is what happened. The store closes. Well, first of all, for those who don't know, I work at KFC, but just don't be looking at every KFC finding me or looking for me, because that's just going to bother them. You go to the store, you buy something, and you go. But still, moving on, free advertisement. You're welcome, KFC. Okay, so yes, I work there, and we close at 10 p.m. We get a phone call. I answered the phone call, and it was 10:38 p.m., which pretty much is already over half an hour since we closed. And the guy was all calm. He was just asking questions of what the deals were, or how much were these and how much were that, what he can get. So I answered calmly, of course, since I thought it was just a regular phone call. And then he said he'll be over there to pick up his order. I told him, well, that's going to be a problem because we are already closed. We've been closed since 10 p.m., but if you like, we could place the order now, and then you could pick it up once the store opens at 10 a.m. And he was frustrated about this. He wanted to talk to the manager. Well, why would he want to talk to the manager? The manager's going to say the exact same thing that I just did. But obviously, he wanted to know who was the person in charge. I told him I was in charge. I'm a shift supervisor, and I've actually closed down the restaurant several times. And at some given point, I'm the one that's in charge at some days. So I just told him I was in charge, and then he said, I found this hard to believe. Okay, I'm the one who's answering your calls, I'm the one that's being professional about this, and you say that I'm not the person in charge. Okay, so I guess I'm not the person in charge. But either way, I told him that we were close and there's nothing that we could do about it. He hangs up the phone. I thought nothing of it. I talked to my coworkers about that, and they found it funny, because I found it funny too, that of how he was acting up on this and what his attitude was about all this. So we made jokes about it, and then yada yada yada. You know how we are, that we just make jokes out of everything. But yeah, that was it. We thought it was just going to be another calm night, and then we're just going to go. And then I was just leaving a note saying that this happened, so you may get a complaint about a guy who called at 10:38 p.m. after we closed, complaining about how we are closed or something like that, that he couldn't get his order in. So they could just shrug it off, and then we can go. So yeah, that's what I do. I just let them know, so that they ask us about it. It's like, hey, I left a note. We're done with it. About 5 minutes later, our car pulls up into the parking lot. And then my friends figured it's the same guy that just called us. And they were right. About another 30 seconds later, he calls again. I answer. And then he says that he would like his order. And I told him, we are closed. that there's nothing we can do. He says, why are you closed? Can you just open it up for me, or if you could actually cook something for me? And then I told him everything's been shut down. All the registers have been shut down. All the fryers have been shut down. Everything is shut down until we open again at 10 a.m. because that's how the system works. We can't do anything about it until the time starts. And then, of course, he said that it would be a lot easier for you guys to actually get me my order. That to me sounded like a threat. If that didn't sound like a threat, I don't know what a threat is. But that sounded like a threat, especially when we are closed and there's nothing that we can do. I kept telling him over and over again. I even suggested that he could just place the order now, and then we could just give his order in the morning once we open. And I asked him for his name. Of course, he didn't give me his name. He just said, you know exactly what I want. And then he hangs up the phone again. And he's still in the parking lot after another 5 minutes. So we figured that we're just gonna walk out, get to our cars, and drive off like nothing happened. Of course, he's still there once we got out, so what I did is that I put all my stuff in the truck while my other 3 co-workers were gonna go confront the guy and ask him what he was doing. And once I got over there, all I heard was the guy was just talking trash. Like, he says that he represents the city and that we represent stupid stuff. Like, he was just going off on a rant here. He was just getting frustrated. And of course, he didn't leave his car. He just sat back in his car and just waited. So we all got in our cars, and then my friend calls the police after getting the license plate number, and then the guy finally drives off. And the sad thing was that the police didn't actually arrive until, or we don't even know that they arrived actually, because what they told them is that we'll get a cop car over there once we're ready. And for me, it's like, what if that would have been too late? Because when my friends and I talked about it the next day, they said that they were actually afraid that he was going to pull out a gun because of how he was acting. He had tats all over his arms, he had a bad attitude about it, and they were actually kind of afraid that he would have pulled out a gun on them. And that was my initial thought, is like, why would you go to a restaurant that is closed after we told you that was closed, and you still want to get something out of the store? So that was really suspicious, but we were glad that he didn't pull out anything, or he didn't do anything other than just pretty much complaining and just driving off afterwards. So again, this was pretty much the scariest night I have ever had to deal with, and I would have never thought that I would have to deal with it by working at a fast food restaurant, no less. Security guards, that's understandable, but working at a fast food restaurant, you would have never really suspected or expect any of that to happen in your life or whenever you work. So this was legitimately the scariest night for my life, as well as that I feared that something bad would have happened. I actually feared for my life, and as well as my co-workers' life, and I'm really glad that I had 3 of them stay with me throughout that night. If it would have just been me, I would have literally panicked, and I don't even know what I would have done, because I knew what to do. I knew that I had to take the license plate and then call the police for just telling them that they're trespassing, and I fear for my life because of how he was acting during the phone calls, and as well as that he's right there outside the parking lot waiting. But here's the thing. I've talked about this before. You say that you know what to do in this type of situation, but until you actually have been put into that situation, you tend to freeze up. And this is exactly what happened to me. I knew what to do. I told my parents I knew that I had to get the phone number, and as well as I could have called the police, but when it happened, I just froze. I'm just glad that my coworkers are the ones that actually took the license plate number and then called the police. But even then, the police, the dispatcher said that we'll send a car over there once they are ready. It was like, oh my god. If that guy would have pulled a gun and shot at us, it would have been too late. And then the city would have gotten sued or something like that, and then all that big mess would have happened. All because the guy wanted some chicken. Whew. I could just only imagine the comments that this video is going to get now. You know what I'm talking about. This is the internet, of course. But okay, this was the scariest night of my life. I'm glad that I am glad that I am okay. I'm glad that my coworkers are okay, and I hope that none of this will ever happen again. because we didn't get a phone call, we didn't hear from the guy since, and I guess we just have to move on from here. And I want to talk about this right now because otherwise this would have been bothering me for a long while. So I'm glad I got this out, and I really hope that none of this will ever happen again. And if it does, at least I know now what to do, and hopefully I won't freeze up like it did that night. So everything's a learning experience. It's kind of like an eye-opener, and that's what I have to deal with. Just never thought I would have to deal with it that soon. And I'm glad that this is the end of the video so that the dogs barking in the background won't really bother me. Oh well. So that is it. If you guys worked at a fast food restaurant or any job, what was the scariest night of your life? Or the scariest time of your life working at a job? So tell us your stories in the comment section below, or feel free to leave a video response to the topic at hand. So we're gonna get some work done on this tunnel. So until then, have a nice day everybody. I'm SorKing090, and as always I will see you in the next video.